Real Estate Group, and today I'm joined with Lisa, Sandy, Bill, and King is in charge of the camera. Holding the phone, keeping us all together. So today we're going to talk about converting internet leads. It's been really an extended period of time. It's a subject we've talked about before, and but it's been a while, so I thought we'd do a little refresher course on it. So internet leads are they're here to stay. It's how everybody shops. You got Zillow, Realtor.com, huge companies providing agents, hopefully with good value and some good leads to do some business with. So they're not going away. So it's something that can help get your business going if you're so inclined to go that route. If you're going to go that route, you want to work those leads as hard as possible to obviously get the most out of them. So a lot of times, just to give a little background on Zillow and Realtor.com, so you kind of understand how those leads kind of come to you if you're subscribing, to those services. So if it's Zillow, 85% of the people click contact agent. So even though you've got this beautiful profile and great photo, that's really not what they're clicking on. They're clicking on contact agent, and so they're not picking a specific person. That's 85% of the leads. This is from Zillow. So a lot of times they don't know who's calling. They may be clicking on a few different properties contact agent. And then Realtor.com, they sell leads. So they have two products. One is you pay them. It's called their showcase products. If you have a listing and you pay them, your picture will appear, and if anybody clicks on that property, you'll get that lead. But if you don't pay them, then they sell those leads. So if somebody clicks, they sell those leads to usually either one or two other agents. So and then that consumer, that person, same as Zillow, in 85% of the cases there has no idea who's calling them. They just clicked. They want more, so they don't know, Lisa's calling, Sandy's calling, Bill, they have no idea. And again, there's always the possibility that they've clicked on multiple properties, and with Realtor.com, usually two agents get that lead. So why is all this important? It's important because you got to be quick. Speed to lead, I call it. You got to get to them very fast, because if you don't, somebody else might, and then they may get that business and you won't. So almost instantaneously you got to call them, and then you want to not only call them, if you call them, and again, the number that they see on Zillow isn't going to be your number. That's a tracking number. So the number you're going to be calling them on is going to be a different number, so they may not answer, right? So if they don't answer, you want to leave a message. You then want to text them, and you want to email them. Different people communicate different ways. And then the idea being that hopefully, through one of those three ways, they're going to respond. And then if they don't respond, then the next day you want to do it again, because making contact is critical. And you're going to hear things like, "Oh, I thought you were the listing agent," or "Oh, I already have an agent." And again, what you're looking for is that 1 out of 20, 1 out of 25, 4 or 5% of your leads that you can actually turn into a transaction. So a lot of times, and if you kind of flip that, what does it mean? It means that 19 out of 20 leads suck. Okay, let's be honest. They're not good, right? They're terrible. I mean, I hear that all the time. "Oh, the leads are bad. Oh, this is bad. It's bad." Well, yeah, it's bad, but that's normal, right? Don't think of it like that. Think of it as, "Oh, I got that one that was good," and that's good, right? That's positive. So again, you wanna, and when you do call, you want to be, very, very bubbly. You want to be, a lot of energy, because there's a real difference between agent A and agent B, how they do, and the number one thing is how you communicate on the phone. Zillow, they all the calls. So a lot of times people will call, like you get a call, "Oh, this is a lead from Zillow." Zillow records all those calls, so they listen. They did a study where they listened, and like 70% of the agents were like Droopy the dog. Okay, they were Droopy the dog, like low, like it was a bother for them to be talking to that person. No, that's not how you're going to convert those people. You want to have that really high energy, pumped up, a lot of coffee, and rock and roll with them, and hopefully get them out and show them some properties. Okay, so so that's kind of the initial sort of strategy. Call. If you don't get them, leave a message. If you do speak to them, a lot of energy. Text them. Millennials, whatever. Are you a millennial, Kinga?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so millennials basically, she's a texting queen, so she's always texting, right? So.
Oh, I love that.
But, again, some people, especially millennials, they don't want to talk on the phone, they want to text, so you want to text that person. And then, old people like me, we still like email, texting, like it's disorganized, it's hard to keep track of. So some people still like email, so that's why you want to hit them, with an email. Okay, so you've done all that, right?
Sorry, I'm just gonna turn off my phone.
Okay, no worries.
Oops.
A little reverb here. So, anyways, but she's
Getting
getting
a
text.
text.
She's getting text.
As we speak.
As we speak, they're coming in. So, okay, so you really want to try to make contact in some way, somehow. There is I don't, I'm not a proponent of this, but if you, look on YouTube and you type real estate agent, 10 days of pain, there's an interesting video that shows how this one agent will, go after these people for 10 days. Like I kind of, after 2 days, all right, I did enough. Well, this guy, no, it's 10 days. 10 days of pain. Check it out. May help you. Because again, over the course of a year, if you're doing 10 days of pain, maybe you get 1 or 2 more deals, $6,000 a deal, you made an extra 12 grand, because you worked them. That's not bad. You worked them a little bit harder, right? So that's the thing. The thing is, a lot of the leads, they don't convert. Like, we all love them when they say, yeah, show me that property. I want to go out now, and you put them under agreement, right? I mean, we call it the
Low-hanging fruit.
The low-hanging fruit, right? It's the low-hanging fruit. Well, only half of the leads that actually convert are low-hanging fruit. The other half are, they're starting their search. Their search is much further out, in the future. Claren, who usually sometimes when she has checks, she comes to the training, to get some money. She's not here today, so she didn't have any closings this week. But hey, Claren, if you're watching. So anyways, she got one under agreement from like 18 months ago. She's phenomenal at keeping in touch, working those leads. That's what it's all about. Like, you hear Twitter, like keep the conversation going, right? So that's the same thing with internet leads. You want to, if you made contact, even if you didn't make contact, here are the things you want to do. Set them up with a property alert. Right, we all can do that. If you have a CRM like we use, Boomtown at Dalton Wade sends them out the property alerts. You want to do that religiously because, again, the reason why they didn't respond back, they may not ever respond back, but there will be some. They didn't respond back because they're not looking for a house right now. They're just doing some, preliminary research, and their timing is further out in the future. But if you stay in touch, you send them the property alerts. You check in every so often. You may reactivate them and then get their business, like Claren did with that person from 18 months ago. If she had given up on them and stopped communicating, they would have found a different agent, but she didn't. And it takes seconds. You just, hey, how's it going? You just check in, and it works. So that's, and then again, some of the people you speak to, they may say, well, I'm getting married in a month and I'm really kind of putting my house, search on hold, and then we're going to Fiji for a month, going on this awesome honeymoon vacation, we'll be back in 2 months. Okay, so, all right, well, you set it to do in your CRM that says, in 2 months, I'm going to follow back up with this person. Because what happens is if you don't do that and you're not organized like that, you forget, right? And then that person becomes low-hanging fruit for another agent because they will find another agent. Even though you talk to them and you sent them some alerts, you got to check in. You got to keep them, keep them warm. It's like you're becoming their friend over time so that, when they're actually ready to buy, you are their person, because why would they go with it? Because you've built that, even though you haven't met them, you've built that relationship online with them, and then, you know, you get their business. So, so any questions, any thoughts, any success stories that what do you do, Lisa?
Well, I reach out to people a few times, probably over the course of 2 days, and then I try and stay in touch, watch whether or not they're, you know, looking at the emails that are getting sent out, the e-alerts, the property alerts, and if they are, then you kind of touch back in if some time has passed, and you just really kind of try and get to know somebody so that you might have something to call them about in the future also, you know, question to ask, or you know, how's this going or that going, or how was the wedding if it was a wedding, or, you know.
Right, just that kind of personal touch that,
Right.
you know,
Get
kind
to
of
know somebody. What do they like? What don't they like? It helps you find the right house for them better anyway.
Anybody else? Any thoughts, comments? Kinga? No. Anybody in Facebook land? Questions? All right, so we'll wrap it up. So remember, call quickly. Everybody's after that lead. If you don't make contact, don't give up. Set them up with an alert. Set them up with a to-do check-in. You know, the people that work these leads the best, their conversion percentages can be, you know, 1 out of 10, you know, 10%, 1 out of 12. Others, you know, unfortunately don't do quite as well. So if anybody has any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. And thanks for watching.